Economic Development Authority, call to order, and with roll call, Gary Sicknich Chair is excused. Mr. Becker? Excused.
Mr. Becker informed me he'll be 5 minutes.
Final say,
Yep.
okay. Mr. Morley's here, Alderman Duane? Here. Mr. Gendrick? Here. Mr. Hilgenberg? Here. Mr. Vogel? Here. Any concerns or changes on the agenda? And I'll roll that into approval of the agenda and the minutes of the July 8th meeting.
Motion approved. Second.
Any discussion or changes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 4.
All right, item number 4 is a planning option agreement for 202 Cherry Street, condominium unit 1 and condominium unit 2. It's parcels 12351 and 12352. This is better.
You were sometimes surprised by certain people's
I know,
ringtones.
wow.
Would
Rocking it
not
out.
would not have guessed Mr. Knight on that ringtone.
This parcel is better known as the Cherry Street ramp. And what I'd like to do today is we have a applicant who is requesting a planning option for this piece of property in order to look at the property is divided into 6 condo units. The city owns condo unit 1, which is the parking garage itself, and condo unit 2, which is the common trash area. They have a proposal to subdivide possibly those condo units with some potential development opportunities. So the applicant is here. With that, before granting the planning option, they'd like to go into a little more detail about their project. But just given the nature of where it's at, I believe it would be appropriate for the authority to go into closed session just to discuss some of the details of this project. So with that, I guess I would ask for one of the members to read the language, and we'll take a roll call vote to go into closed session, and then after that, come back and act on the plan.
Well, just a quick,
Sure.
do we want to hear from the parties involved first and then go into a close, or are you asking to go closed session?
They would like
with the
to
parties
discuss some of
involved?
these things in closed session.
Gotcha.
And given where the city's at in terms of, meeting the
Right.
rules for closed session, I believe it's appropriate that we do that.
All right, do we have a motion?
I guess we need somebody to read
Oh,
it out loud,
that's right.
get it on the record.
All right, so we're looking for a motion for the authority to convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.851E Wisconsin statutes for purpose of deliberating or negotiating the sale of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business as necessary for competitive and bargaining reasons. The authority may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.852 Wisconsin stats to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda.
All right, so Mike Borley,
Yes?
Alderman Tim Duane,
Yes.
Eric Enrich,
Aye.
Phil Hilgenberg,
Aye.
and Mike Vogel.
Yes.
Okay. So with that,
So, we'll bring everybody back in a little while. We're done. All right, we're back in open session. Just double check to make sure. I think we got it going.
we're rolling.
We're rolling. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second. Motion to recommend.
Yeah, we would be looking for a motion, recommend, or motion to approve staff's recommendation to enter into this meeting.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay,
Carried. Thank you, gentlemen.
thanks.
Thank you.
So this will be at council then next Tuesday, in terms of the action item. All right.
Item 5.
So,
It's a
Thank
request
you.
by Alderman Moore to discuss and review development options for 418 and 420 North Monroe Avenue, parcels 11-91 and 11-92, former body shop. Alderman Moore is here tonight. I think, did you want to speak to this one?
If I could,
Yep.
that'd be
Yes.
great, thank you. All right, so It was a couple years ago that the body shop was taken down, and that was funded through money in the parking utilities, and turned into a parking lot, and it's currently being leased. It's a source of revenue for the parking utilities, kind of paying back that. Being that it's such a prime location on the intersection of Main and Monroe, with all the development that's happening, such as Associated Bank, the K Convention Center, I think it'd be a pretty hot area for some potential development. The whole corner is chopped up a few different ways. The parking utilities owns the one section, the RDA owns a small section, and then where the billboards are is another section. So yesterday in the RDA, we referred to staff to possibly enter into negotiations, reach out to the person who owns those billboards, see what the opportunity might be to secure those and then get an actual developable area over there. So as far as being here today, I would just probably recommend that, I'd be happy to hear any discussion you may have on it, but until the RDA can do those discussions, we can determine a way that we would reimburse the parking utilities, whether it be through TIF or whatever it might be with the sale price of the area. That we probably just take this, receive it, and place it on file. Would probably be my recommendation, but I'm happy to hear any discussion you might have on that.
Any questions? We're not gonna let you off the hook, Alderman Moore. You're number 6.
Well,
Yes.
in terms of just action, just so we get the process started, I would, recommend that ED staff investigate and report back next month
Okay.
on this, just to get the process started.
Do you want that in a formal motion?
Please. I just because, coming as a communication, I just want to make sure we're taking action on these
All right.
items.
Do we have a
formally
motion?
get the process going.
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 6.
Okay, item 6 is also a request via communication by Alderman Moore for a report on how a Class 1 rating for the Green Bay Metro Fire Department can affect economic development and how the city will use this information in recruiting and retention efforts.
Okay. This item, right off of the fire department's website, the ISO, which is the Insurance Service Office, evaluates a community's fire protection services, including things such as fire department staffing, fire prevention activities, training, water supply, and communications. The community's ISO rating assists insurance companies in setting their premium rates. Generally speaking, a community with a Class 1 rating will have much lower property insurance premiums than a Class 5 community. I'd like to see the city take advantage of that Class 1 rating. The Green Bay Metro Fire Department is ranked in the top third of 1% nationwide in what they can provide. And I'd also like to see the city use this as far as their retention calls for existing businesses. So I just wanted to see if economic development had any kind of a plan or wanted to put one together on how we would utilize such a great effort by the fire department.
Again, I would make the same motion that I recommend economic development staff to investigate and report back next month. With that, just loosely in terms of this fire insurance, this rating, when commercial broker or property owner goes out to get their insurance quote, one of the things they look at in their due diligence is, okay, what's the rating, the ISO rating of the area? And having a 1 can definitely make an impact in terms of what those rates are going to be, especially if for those, our industries and those that are dealing with, chemicals or other things that are a little more vulnerable to fire, this can make a big difference in terms of their insurance rates. So while our tax rate may be perhaps higher than others, one of the things, you have to look at the total cost of doing business, and if insurance can be lower because you're in the city of Green Bay, we want to make sure that we're using this to our advantage. So looking at, what some of these select other communities have done and how we internally can do, we're going out on our retention visits, just making sure, even if it's just a process where we, let the entity know, when you renew your insurance rates, just maybe don't sign right away, but take a look and have them take a look again, now that we have this rating.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, so we currently have this rating, and you're looking at us just to market the fact that we have this rating.
Absolutely.
We
What
just
you're saying.
You just got it.
achieved it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, we just
Yes.
achieved it?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So this is brand new.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
I'll make a motion to refer to staff, EDA staff, for further review.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7.
Items for discussion, I-43 Business Center. We've talked a little bit before about the parcel that we own, the 28 acres at Erie Road and Mason Street. I have mentioned that we've had some interest in parties for having that site, to acquire or purchase part of that site for development. Those investigations, they've kind of done their end and of due diligence, and both, there's 2 clients right now who are both very interested in that site. Both of those would be, industrial type development, large warehousing space. I brought this up before, and I think we've discussed a little bit, right now it's zoned entertainment, and then the EDA's, thought for changing the PUD for light industrial in that space. What we're looking at right now, what staff is moving forward with, there are wetlands on the property. We've never had those. We've kind of got an idea where they are, but to get those delineated. So we can get a delineation and know exactly where those wetlands are, how much is there, what the quality is, and that way get a plan together for mitigating those wetlands to make the site more developable. There's a few swaths of wetlands that kind of go right through the middle of the parcel. But we need to know just exactly where they are before we can put together any type of plan. So with that, at staff level, we're going to be looking towards, getting a delineation done on that property, basically so we can take the next step and make it more developable in terms of moving forward. So it's just kind of an update of where we're at on that. I didn't want to move forward until we had, kind of some solid leads on it, but I believe we're at that point where it's worth for us as a department to spend some funds on getting that done. Again, the outcome being able to sell those properties. So that's just an update on those right there.
Just as a reference, we did do a wetland delineation on the strategic behavioral health site and had that all ready. So when the developer did come in, we were able to provide that as a city so that it gave us an opportunity to potentially move a development forward a little quicker than if we would have to order that information and then go through the process. That way they already know what parts of that area can be developed, where they can put their site. They can start to have their engineers work that site to see if their development fits on that location. So it helps us just provide a critical piece to the development right on the front end to let them know how much of it is developable and what would need to be worked into the engineering plan, and it is not, would have to be planned out. And so it just provides an important piece of development right away. But it did help with our selection of that property. So this will just help us market this a little more efficiently.
All right. Any questions? Item 7. 8, excuse me.
Item 8, potential redevelopment site. This is looking at the other end of purchase option agreements for a specific number of parcels, 7-544, 545-1, 520-A, 520, 521, and 567. With that, even though this is a discussion item because it's involving negotiating the sale or negotiating the sale or lease of property, I'd ask that we go into closed session to discuss this item. So I would ask a member of the authority to read the statute, we'll take roll call and move into closed session.
All right, so we're going to look for a motion for the authority here to convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.851E Wisconsin statutes for purpose of deliberating or negotiating the sale of public properties, investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business as necessary for competitive and or bargaining reasons. The authority may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.852 Wisconsin Stats to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, roll call. Mark Becker,
Aye.
Mike Borley,
Aye.
Alderman Tim Dwayne,
Aye.
Eric Enrich,
Aye.
Phil Hilgenberg,
Aye.
Mike Vogel.
Aye.
Okay.
Eric Enrich,
Aye.
Phil Hilgenberg,
Aye.
Mike Vogel.
Aye.
So moved. We're back in open session. Do we have a motion? would someone consider a motion for staff to move forward with discussions for items 7 and 8?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Last but not least,
Director's update, things
Think
are going
that was
well.
it?
I think we've exhausted our time here, so I'll say more, updates for next time.
thank you. Anything else?
That's all.
Any
We'll have
questions?
next, in September, I'll bring back, I know we talked about kind of strategy and laid out that matrix of where things are at. So next month, it's 3 months, so we'll come back and check in and see what we've accomplished over the summer, and set out a plan for what we're gonna be doing over the
All
fall.
right.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? All those in favor? All right, we're out of here. Thank you.
Mark back.
What do you do with that tree?
We're out of here.
I don't think so,
Thanks,
no.